So good morning guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys a step-by-step process on how you can apply for your Pgwp after your studies are completed in Canada. In this video, I'll cover all the categories including students who have two 1-1 year courses as well as students who have one course with a duration of 2, 3 or 4 years. So anyone who wants to apply for Pgwp, this is the video for you. So there's a lot of confusion between students who have two 1-1 year courses because you only get one education section in the IMM 5710 form, and a lot of students had this question that should we mention our second course in the employment section, which is not the correct way. So don't worry, in this video I'll also be showing you the correct way to fill your education section. Now I want this video to be as short as possible and as informative as possible, so let's hop straight into the video. Now before you start, there are a few compulsory documents that you need to have with you. Number one is going to be your letter of completion from your college or university. This letter states that you have completed this course from this duration to this duration. Second document is going to be your final transcripts. Now these two documents are usually given immediately after you graduate by your college or university. Number third is going to be your passport. Number fourth is going to be your digital photograph, and number fifth is going to be the IMM 5710 form that you get during the application process. So don't worry about it for now. Now apart from these compulsory documents, there are also two optional documents. Number one is the IMM 5257 form, and number two is the letter of explanation. Now these two optional documents are only to be filled by the students who have two 1-1 year courses. Now the IMM 5257 form is a very basic form which states that you don't have any criminal background, any political inclination, etc. And the letter of explanation actually explains that you have taken two courses in Canada from this duration to this duration, what you have learned, and you will also mention that now you want to apply for the Pgwp and get a 3 years of work permit. These are optional documents, but this letter is highly recommended because this will ensure that the immigration officer knows that you took two courses and you are eligible to get 3 years of work permit instead of one. So don't worry about it for now. I'll share my exact letter of explanation with you guys as well. Now let's begin with the application process. Now the first step is to sign into your GCK account. I have my credentials with me. But if you don't have your credentials with you, then just talk to your agent who applied on your behalf for Canada. Because if they file your visa on your behalf, they would have your GCK credentials. Now, if you're not in touch with your agent, you don't have your GCK account, then in that case, you will have to create a new GCK account and link that to your previous GCK account. Now, this process takes another 5 minutes, but I'm not going to show it in this video. However, I'm attaching another video in the description box below, which handles this situation. You can just follow the steps and you'll be able to link your new GCK account to your previous GCK account. Now, once you have your GCK with you, just sign in with it. Just scroll down and come to this section where you see apply to come to Canada. It will ask you if you have a personal reference code or not. You will not have it. So just scroll down and click to visitor visa, study or work permit. After that, it will ask you a few questions. So now let's go through them one by one. First question is, what would you like to do in Canada? So you'll write work here. Now, how long are you planning to stay in Canada? It will be temporarily more than 6 months. Select the code that matches the one on your passport. So for me, it's going to be India. So just select India. What is your current country or territory of residence? So it's going to be Canada if you are applying in Canada. Then do you have a family member who is a Canadian citizen or PR? For me, it's going to be no. Then your birth date. So I'm writing anything for now. Then just click next. Then are you a lawful permanent resident of the US? So no, and click next. What is your current immigration status in Canada? So you're going to be a student. So you need to have a valid study permit before applying for a work permit. So if your study permit is expired, go talk to an immigration consultant, get that fixed. The time that you're applying for the Pgwp, your student visa should be valid. So you should select student here and click next. Do you plan to work on campus? So for me, it's going to be no. Then click next. Then, are you a full-time student at a participating post-secondary institution? So the answer here will be no, because you just graduated. And now it will ask, have you recently graduated? So yes. Is your work an essential part of your studies? So no. Have you been told by immigration consultant that approved for a PR? So no. Have you submitted a permanent residency application? No. Do you have a written job offer? So even though you have a written job offer, for example, just select no here because you are applying for an open kind of a work permit so that you can work with any employer and you're not bound with one employer. So just select no here. Do you have an official letter from your school that confirms you have completed your study program as well as copy of your final transcript? Select yes. What is your marital status? Never married, single. What is your province or territory of destination? So just write in the province which you have spent the most of the time. For me, it's going to be Ontario. Then it will show you two results. You are eligible to apply for a temporary resident visa or a post-graduation work permit in Canada. So just click on the Pgwp and click continue 2 times. Now it will ask you the same question again, that have you have a final transcripts and you have completed your studies? So select yes. Then have you had a medical exam performed by an IRCC authorized panel physician within the last 12 months? So for me, it's going to be no. When you select no, they're going to ask two more questions. If you're in one of these categories, you need to have a medical done. If not, just select no. For me, it's going to be no because I don't belong to any of these careers or fields. If you're a health science worker, clinical laboratory worker, you need to have your medical done. But I am not from that field, so I'll select no again. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? Select no. Are you giving access to your application for someone? So I'm filling it myself. I recommend you guys to do your PGWP filing by yourself. Don't waste your money. It's very simple. Just do it by yourself. Select no. In the past 10 years, have you given your biometrics for Canada? Yes. If you have come to Canada, you must have given your biometrics. So select yes. Your fees associated, will you be paying the fees or you're exempt? So yes, I will be paying my fees. Are you able to make a digital copy of your document? So yes, you need a PDF of all your documents. So select yes again. Then will you be paying the fees via these methods? Yes. Click next. Now, this will be an area where you need to focus 2 to 5 minutes on. PGWP is a very big document, so review your answers once. So for me, I've done it a lot more times. So for me, I know I've done everything correctly, but you can still have a look and check if you have done everything correctly or not. You can match your answers if you have a similar scenario like me and click continue. Now it will give you basic steps and just click continue again. Now, here comes your document checklist. So the compulsory documents that I mentioned are here in front of your screen. The IMM 5710 form is the compulsory document. Recent educational transcript, completion of studies letter or letter of completion, passport, and a digital photograph. Now, these 5 documents are compulsory documents. When you scroll down, there are 2 more optional documents. Now, these documents are only to be filled by students who have 2 1-1-year courses. If you don't fall in that category, then just fill these documents. Okay. Now I'm going to go one by one and tell you how to fill these. Now a quick thing that I want to mention is that this form remains the same for everyone, and so are these documents. But here in the recent educational transcripts, for example, if you have one course of the duration of 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, then in your recent educational transcript, you will get only one transcript, right? Because you studied only one course. Then, yeah, the same goes in the completion of studies letter. If you have only studied one course over the duration of 2, 3, or 4 years, you will only get one letter of completion from your college or university. So you will just put that. So now for students who have 2 1-1-year courses, in this space where it says recent educational transcript, what you will be doing is you will have 2 transcripts, one from your first course and one from your second course. So when it says recent educational transcript, for example, my first course was in Seneca and second course was in York University. So in the PDF that I'm attaching here, I'll put both. First, I'll put on the first page my York University's educational transcript, and on the second page, I'll put my Seneca's educational transcript and combine them in one PDF and then upload it here. Same goes in completion of studies letter. If you have completed 2 courses, you will get 2 completion of studies letter. So make sure you put the latest one first. In this case, I'll put my York University's completion letter first and then my Seneca's completion letter. And then combine both of them in one PDF and then upload it here. I hope you get my point. So now first, let's just go into the IMM 5710 form. This is the IMM 5710 form here. So make sure you open it with Adobe Acrobat Reader, because if you open it anywhere else, you won't be able to open it. Now, this form is very, very important. I'll tell you exactly how to fill this perfectly in one go. Now, for all those students who have got only one study permit, you will have only one UCI number. This UCI number will be mentioned on your study permit. I'll show you the location where it is mentioned as well. Make sure to put it without any dashes. Again, without any dashes. Okay. Now, for students who have two courses, you will have one a normal study permit that you got for your first course, and one will be your extended study permit. Make sure if you have two courses, you put the UCI of your extended study permit or your second course. Come to I want service in English and then click on applying for a work permit for the first time. Scroll down, put the name where you want to put it. I'll put my name here, your first name and your last name. Have you had any other names? Put no. Your gender, select your gender. In the date of birth, select your date of birth. Then city or town that you are born in, putting it anything for now. Country or territory of residence, I'll put India. And citizenship, for me, it's going to be India again. Now it asks current country or territory of residence. It already selects Canada. In your status, you're going to write a student. So here, if you're a student who has only one course of 2, 3, or 4 years, and you have the date that you landed in Canada, so just write that date here. And you will also have an end date on your study permit, which will say till your study permit is valid. So write that date here. Now for students who have two study permits, in the from section, you will write the start date when you entered in Canada, which will be mentioned on your first study permit. In the to date, you will write the validity of your second study permit. But next, it will ask you during the past 5 years, have you lived in any country or territory other than your country of citizenship or your current country? So put in no here. Now it will ask for your marital status. So I'm writing single here. And scroll down, you're done with the first page. Now, have you previously been married on your common law? Select no. Now, your native or mother tongue is going to be Hindi for me. So just scroll down and write Hindi. And are you able to communicate in English or French? So just write English here. Now, a lot of students just ask that, can I write English and French both here? So you're not going to get any extra points or something. So this is just a general question. So don't try to act too smart. Just put English here if you don't know French. If you know French, then put both. Have you taken a test from a designated tested agency for your English? So yes, you must have taken IELTS, so put yes. Now here it will ask for your passport details. So just put in your passport number, country of issuance. So for me, it's going to be India. And the issue date and the expiry date is going to be mentioned on your passport. Now in the national identity document, you will write yes and put in the same document, put in the same passport details here as well. And US PR card. Are you a lawful permanent resident of the US? So select no here. Now put in the address where you want your work permit to be delivered. So just write your address here, your street number, street name, city, town, just anything. And your province is going to be Ontario. Residential address is same as mailing address. Put yes. In the telephone, click check the Canada and US, put in your number. Now in the email address, just put in your email address, whatever email address you have. Then scroll down to the third page. Now it will ask coming into Canada. Now date and place of your original entry to Canada. So when you arrived in Canada on your first study permit, you would have your date when you entered Canada. So just enter that date here, and in the place, so for me, and in the place, for example, if you came Pearson International Airport, okay, for example, if you landed in that airport, then your original purpose for coming to Canada was for study, okay. Now date and place of your most recent entry to Canada, if not same as the original entry, so for me it's going to be the same, so just leave it empty, okay. Now details of intended work in Canada. What type of work permit are you applying for? So here There are a lot of options, so don't worry about it. Just scroll down to post graduation work permit. Okay. Now it will ask details of your employer. So just leave all of this for now because you're applying for an open kind of a work permit. Now, have you been issued a certificate under the provincial nominee program? Select no. Now, here is the section where a lot of students are confused. Now, have you had any post-secondary from college or university? You will select yes, of course, because you have studied here. Now, for all those who have only one course with a duration of 2, 3, or 4 years, then you don't need to worry about it. Just write from to your course, college, etc. For students who have two 1 year courses, you do not need to write your second course duration in your employment section. That's absolutely wrong. Okay. What you need to do is in the education section, for example, I'll tell you. In my case, my first course was in Seneca College, second was in York University, right? Now, my Seneca's course was from May 2022 till December 2022, and my York course was from January 2023 till September 2023. So, in the from date, you will write your first course start date. To be 2022, and month is going to be May when I started. Now, in the field and level of study, for me, I'll just write PG in information technology, just general, because I had two courses. One was cloud and one was cybersecurity. So both of them fall under the IT category. Now, in the school and faculty name, since I studied two courses, one from Seneca, one from York, I'll be writing Seneca College and York University. Get my point? You'll write both your colleges' names here. Now, in the to section, you're going to write the duration till your second course was done. So my second course from York was completed in September of 2023. So in the to section, I'll write 2023 and September. So the start date goes from your first course start date and your end date goes from your second course's end date. Okay. And in the school name, you'll write your Seneca College and York University. So remember that. Okay. And the city of town, if it is same, then put same. If not, you put Toronto and wherever it is, Kitchener, or for example, if studying in Conestoga or something, just put that. For me, it's going to be Toronto, so I'll just put the same. In country or territory of residence, mine is Canada. So just put Canada here. Province or state is going to be Ontario. Now, this was the tricky part that a lot of students had questions about, but I hope I cleared this section for you guys. This is very, very important. So make sure you take a note of it. Now, in the employment section, put in the employment date that you worked in. So a lot of people were asking that I did cash jobs as well. So should I put it? So no, you worked on SIN. Make sure you work on SIN and put only those employments here for which you filed your taxes on. Okay. And then if you worked only one, then even one is fine. If not, then write any three. Latest. Okay. Now it will ask you basic questions within the past 2 years. Every family member had any issues? So no, no. Have you remained beyond the validity of your status? No. Refuse. Have you ever been refused a visa or permit or denied your entry? Now, for me, it's going to be no. Now, there are a lot of students who had denied their study permit once. For example, students who got their visa rejected when they're applying for Canada. So, if you're selecting yes here, then make sure you explain it here because you have some character spaces here. So explain that I applied on for Canada study permit and got rejected on this date. Then I reapplied or something like that. Okay, just give a brief explanation. It will ask you, have you previously applied to enter or remain in Canada? So yes, you must have applied to Canada when you came here, and as well as if you had two courses, then you must have also extended your course, right? So just mention it here that I applied for my first course from this duration to this duration, and then I extended my study permit and got my second course, which had this duration to this duration. So just write a brief explanation here and then proceed. Okay. Have you ever been committed or arrested? So select no. Now come to the last page of this. Okay. So did you serve in the military? For me, no. Then are you or have you been a member of a political party? So no. And no again. Now it will ask you a consent, so make sure you put yes here in the signature. Just write your full name and today's date. Okay. So for me, it's going to be 20th of September. So just write today's date. Now, when you fill all these things, now I've mentioned some blank spaces here, but when you click validate here, it will give a QR code and it will be validated. So what you do is then just save this form and just keep it on the side. Okay. Now you're done with this form. After that, you just click on upload here and upload this form here. Now, as I mentioned, for all those who have two courses, make sure in the recent educational transcript, you put in both your transcripts. On the first page, put your latest educational transcript, and in the second page, put your previous educational transcript. Similarly, now in the passport section and digital photograph, put it the same. Now comes the part for the students who have two one-year courses. Now you have to fill these two optional documents as well. So now I'm going to show you the IMM 5257 form. Here is the IMM 5257 form. I'll open it with Adobe again. Now this form is very basic, okay? So in this form, all you need to do is, okay, indicate what you are, the principal applicant, your family name. So for me, it's going to be Jahan, and the given name is going to be Dhruv. Then just write in your date of birth. Then here in the UCI, the same UCI that you entered on the first page of your IMM 5710 form, put the same here without any dashes. And then did you serve in the military? So select no. Have you ever witnessed or participated in ill treatment of prisoners? No. Are you or have been a member of associated with political party? No. Then have you ever held any government positions? No. Since the age of 18, have you traveled to any other country? So if you travel to any other country for travel purposes, then put yes here and just give details. For example, if you travel to Dubai or for vacation or something. If no, then select no here. And then just click validate here. Then this form is also done. This is the most simplest form, and this is just an optional document to show that you're not related to any political party or have any criminal background, etc. So just fill this form and put it on the side. Now comes the part wherein you need to tell about your client information. So this client information is basically nothing but a letter of explanation. Okay. So now I'll be sharing you my letter of explanation and what I wrote in my letter of explanation. Okay. So first thing on the letter is going to be your name. Then it's going to be your address with the postal code. Then it's going to be the date that you're writing it. Then in the two sections, write Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada or IRCC. Then in the subject, write Expression of Interest for a Post-Graduation Work Permit. And then you'll start your letter now. So you'll start with Dear Sir, Madam, I hope this letter finds you well. I am writing to express my keen interest in applying for a postgraduate work permit following the successful completion of my two postgraduate programs in Canada. For me, I did two postgraduate certificates, so that's why I wrote this. Okay. Now, don't go hard on what I wrote. Make sure that you can tweak it a little bit. This is just a letter of explanation, so you don't need to match every single word that I wrote. Then I wrote, I am confident that my skills and knowledge I have acquired during my studies will contribute positively to the Canadian workforce, and I am excited about the opportunity to gain practical experience in my field. I completed my first postgraduate program in cloud architecture and administration at Seneca College from May 2022 to December 2022. I am also proud to mention that I successfully graduated from Seneca with a GPA of 3.8. Subsequently, I enrolled in a second postgraduate program in cybersecurity operations at York University, which I completed from this date to this date. Okay. Now you'll explain a bit about yourself here as well. Now, after that, you'll write, therefore, I kindly request you to consideration. Therefore, I kindly request your consideration for a 3-year post-graduation work permit. Now, you need to mention this because your whole purpose of writing the letter of explanation is to put their attention to a 3 years of work permit instead of one. Okay, that will allow me to gain more valuable work experience in Canada and further contribute to the country's growth and development. I understand and appreciate Canada's commitment to welcoming international students, and I am eager to be a part of this vibrant and diverse community. After that, I just wrote, thank you for considering my application. I look forward to the opportunity to contribute my skills and talents to Canada, in turn to grow both personally and professionally during my stay in this wonderful country. And this is just a little outro that I did. Then after that, you'll write sincerely and your name again. After you have done this, just upload all these forms here and then just click continue and pay the price. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I tried to keep the whole video as short as possible, but at the same time I really tried to tackle all the possible problems that you might face in your PGWP application process. So if you found this video informative, please leave a comment down below as well as like this video. Also, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. It really motivates me to make more and more videos. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.